thank you so much for being here on the AIM podcast.
Dude, anything for the AIM fan, man. I'm excited to just sit down and chat, man.
You've been how should I put this? You've been a very highly requested guest on the AIM podcast, and we're excited to have you. This has been, it's been a fun season, kind of getting back into the flow of the podcast schedule, and you're a guest that we had high on our list that we were excited to get on.
Hey, for sure, bro. Let's kick it, man. Let's chat. Let's talk about life. That's
All right.
one of my favorite things to do,
No doubt. Well, let's jump into that. Like you bring up the topic of life, like kind of walk us through your life and everything that you've kind of been through from birth to now. I think there's a lot of cool things that you've been through, experiences that we can talk about and kind of run with.
Yeah, and before I jump into that, I just want to take time to say I appreciate really the platform to do that, because not only is it an opportunity to be vulnerable, and spread some awareness to personal testimony, personal stories. It's something that I personally always have to kind of push myself to talk about, because people that see me around this area, that see me around this community, they just see me as Jonah, and I don't really unpack my story too much. So, this opportunity tonight to do that will just be something that's a bit of a rarity for me,
No doubt. And I love that you're vulnerable and courageous enough to do that, because a lot of people want to take certain things they've been through and keep it from the public. They want to hide it because they see it as weakness. But I think there's so much strength in what we go through, good and bad. And I think, you being willing to talk about it, is good for you and and everything you do in life, but you don't understand how much that impacts the people around you, whether they say it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, to just kick off the timeline of my life, when I was born, I was born into a condition called cerebral palsy. When I speak of a physical disability, I just use the word physical disability because it's easier. Not many people are familiar with the medical term cerebral palsy. And so essentially when I was born, the medical experts in Seattle, Washington, which is where I was conceived, where I originate from, they, their best medical prediction was that I would never walk or talk in my entire life. So to just kind of get older and understand, looking back on the passions that have been placed on my heart, the personality that has been put upon me, like I just look back and I really see just the viable evidence that God really does have a plan for your life, far beyond what you could imagine, So coming here and growing older into a young man was really when that was revealed for me, because when you grow up with a physical disability, there's a lot of things that you have to grow accustomed to. Sometimes maybe in elementary school or middle school, you may have to spend some lunch periods sitting by yourself, or you may have to go through some gym periods where you're kind of picked last, or things of that matter. So, I kind of understand that about myself growing up, that I was different, whatever that meant, and then just in high school, I started to get curious of just like answers for myself, what value could I really bring to a community, and then just things, the biggest work that's done in your life are just the things that are really unexpected. So coming out of Athens Drive High School in Raleigh, North Carolina, I was accepted into college 4.5 hours away from home, and just in that journey 4.5 hours away from home was when I just, so much of my identity was developed and revealed to myself, because in those 4 years I just really there was just a burning passion placed in my heart, understanding that I was different, and understanding that I stood out, whether that was in ways that I didn't want to stand out or did want to stand out, but I knew that there was just a lot of burning desires placed in me, and that was to impact the community, and that was to bring constant and persistent energy that stood out to every day. So I started to really it's not like I went out and labored in different places. Like, I just really invested in my community, and I just took, my work in a day per se was to take the extra couple minutes out of my day in any interaction that I had to make sure that whoever I was speaking to, I was giving them my authentic energy. I was giving them just the undivided attention and just timeless energy into making sure that they were loved and that they were seen and just things of that matter. So coming from a place to where, again, I knew I was given this diagnosis where I was different, but on the inside there's just a lot of burning desires, because I knew that although I was different, there was a lot inside of me that I felt needed a platform to be let out. So here, just being invested in my community along with different opportunities around the campus, I was just able to offer that to people, and it seems like there is, in a sense, just a really reflective impact that I was able to make on a community that really just shaped my identity as a young man.
No doubt. And I think you've done it too in an elite level, in all honesty, and just kind of looking at it from a bird's eye view, kind of, taking a step back and just looking at the full picture of your life and your impact, even just here at Western. Mm-hmm. And that's, when you and I got to meet, even though we're both from Raleigh,
right?
We got a lot closer here. It's like, I see you as someone who cares first for others and finds, just a way to be positive and uplifting no matter what's going on. Mm-hmm. And that's what people gravitate to people like you, because they need that. And that's something that, it's contagious, and it's a really cool thing. But why do you do that? Like, why? I want you to get more deep into the
Sure.
rawness of, like, because obviously it would be, let's put it this way, for someone with your circumstances, mm-hmm. it would be easy for you to be upset. Yeah. It would be easy for you to make excuses. Like, talk to me about, like, why you do what you do and why you have a burning desire to make an impact, and say, you know what, I'm going to be positive no matter what's going on.
Yeah. So, for me, it was just coming to an understanding as a young man what God placed in my heart. I from a young age, whether it was before I knew God and kind of understood what it was like to trust Him with every aspect of your life, I always was a performer, right? Although I had this huge chip on my shoulder, because, again, I'll use the air quotations, I knew I was different. I was always a performer. I gave so much energy and time to, if you want to look at it chronologically, I started off in film and television as a kid, and was actually signed to an agency out in Los Angeles called Lumber Roken Entertainment. And so as a kid, I put that time and energy into performing, into wanting to have all these gifts be seen on a stage. Okay, so that was my adolescent ages. And then once I grew out of that, going through high school, having those questions, and then coming to college, it's where God really grabbed my attention, was like, hey, it's not film and television anymore. It's a metaphorical stage, and you put that same energy and you put that same timing into being chosen for that community, because it's all about timing. Where your heart posture is at that time is exactly what you're going to be prepared for the impact that you're going to make. So I took that energy that I knew was placed inside of me, and I just tried to utilize my gifts the best that I could, instead of on a stage. I'm saying, for me at the time, I took it seriously to make sure that energy and those gifts were being utilized towards every person in my community. And that really I think was just a natural, divine way, in a sense, to just see it align in my life, to feel like that was a lot of purpose being fulfilled and just offering that to other people. And then, you fast forward a little bit later, and I started to take that expression just in the community for what I wanted to give to people, and I started putting it into music. And then that's what kind of started, my musical pursuit with it all.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I think that's something you've been able to use. I feel like I'll let you talk on this more. Music's been something big for you, especially recent. It's been something I think you've put more time into and really pursued it, and it's been not only an outlet but a way for you to express yourself and for you to reach a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just, man, like I was always you talk about just so much of my identity being born here in the Western Carolina community, just understanding just a good chunk of my calling in life just for the community. A lot of that happened with music as well here. Being here was the first time I'd ever written a song or ever performed a song, and it just dawned on me in such a different way, because you take it and you compare it to being on a stage acting. In a sense, you're given a script, you're told who to be, you're told what to look like, and you're told what to do. But with music, you create the expression, you create the melody, you write the lyrics, and you stick to the tempo that you want to stick to. And for me, just having carried what I carried throughout my whole life, whether it was the negative self-images of myself or whether it was just the good passion for wanting an impact, you can naturally put that in a song form to where you couldn't naturally put that in just an everyday conversation. Like I can't, it's great to be here because I can't just sit down with someone in everyday life and just like spill why I am who I am or what I go through, and what exactly that means to me. And especially, putting it in a art rhythmic form.
Yeah, no doubt. I want you to talk on. So I think one thing that I've observed from you, and I've tried to do this with my own personal branding and everything, is like once you've kind of developed a platform, and this is something I want to give a little more context to, because no matter who you are, you have a platform.
Yeah.
Everybody, and it can have a different size platform, but everybody has a platform.
Mm-hmm.
But something I've noticed with you is that you have gained a platform. If you walk around with you on campus, like everybody's like, "What's up, Jonah?" Like people know who you are.
Yeah.
Because of the way you carry yourself, because of your character and your positivity and everything, combined the person you are. But for example, you and I started Dougie and Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
That's an example, and I'm gonna let you speak on it because it was completely your idea. But that's a way, kind of giving encouragement that people can use their platforms to promote positive energy, to promote positive content in the world, and use their platforms for the best.
Yeah, yeah. So at that point, it's so funny, and it's almost ironic in a sense that I'm sitting behind a microphone with you because. You and I's relationship, the roots of it just run so deep, and to just like be sitting here with my partner in crime, to where a lot of people would recognize us through Dougie and Jonah. It's really fun, and it's really interesting to be sitting down with you and just unpacking it for these people. So that started in the fall of 2019, that semester, and I was at the point in my life where I was at peace with my path as far as a musician goes, and being able to have multiple performances at that time, to have a few different songs under my belt. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, having that placed in my heart, the passion for music is a good gift, but what's bigger than that is always the root of it, is what I explained to you. And that's why what you described to me, just what I've been allowed to be a part of here at Western Carolina, just being that everyday presence in your community is so much bigger than any song you could make, any movie you could be in, any money that you could earn. And that's why it dawned on me to where it's like, okay, I need to use my platform, and I need a platform that is just strictly based on sending a message out to help people. Because there's a lot of times where you can implicitly send a message to someone. You can say hi to them, and that means that you're thinking of them, or you can give them a hug, and that means that you have sympathy for what they're going through. But I sat down and was like, I need to dedicate 3 minutes in a video to sending a message out of encouragement to people that really, really need it. And then, just you and I, it's funny, we were not only, close at the time in developing our relationship, we also lived on the same hall right on there in Noble. So I was like, hey, like I need a dude that's gonna be alongside with me in this, and that's gonna share a very similar heart that I share. And then, Dougie and Jonah was born. We queued the intro song, and we just kept it a weekly thing for a while. But to wrap that thought up, it's just all going back to wanting to have just a direct organic impact that's so much bigger than any other pursuit that you could be occupied with in life that may have an implicit impact rather than an explicit impact.
Right, no question. I think for me personally, one of the biggest things I took away was whenever you're dealing with a negative, one of the best ways to fix it and to better your situation is to surround yourself with positive community. Mm-hmm. And I felt like no matter what you were going through, and we were producing that content with hopes of bringing glory to God, like it was not about us.
Yeah.
But I know we had some people reach out to us.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm sure there were a lot more people that were affected that didn't say anything. But our positive community, hopefully, with God willing, was able to help some people in negative times. Because we all go through stuff, whether it be, stuff, with physical disabilities or with family issues or, financial issues, anything. Like those are all challenges and struggles we deal with, adversity. And I'd say one of the best things you can do is surround yourself with people that are positive, because that's contagious and it's going to lift you up.
Oh no, 100%. And the biggest thing about it is like it goes back to courage. Whether it's a song or whether it's taking the court as a D1 athlete, it all just comes back to courage, because nobody wants to be vulnerable anymore, and nobody wants to be the guy or the girl to step up and be like, hey, I'm gonna encourage vulnerability by acknowledging different trials and tribulations that people go through, and I'm going to give them some vulnerability back by helping them through it. And that's just something that, we talk about impact on a community. That's why I just, like you said, God willing, I hope that my impact will stay in a sense of like a legacy here, because I knew that every single day I didn't want to waste it, just knowing what I had carried throughout my life, and knowing that I just wanted to, it's kind of corny and cheesy, but in a sense, carry some people through what they would otherwise be scared to be vulnerable about. You know what I mean?
No question. And I think that's pure leadership in a lot of ways. And I think that's something that our society doesn't deem necessarily as leadership. But at the core breakdown of that is leadership. Like you're leading in a way that you feel is somewhere where you can make an impact. And I appreciate that.
No, it's really... it's priceless, and I'll use that word so many times by the end of the night, because it's just to just have the opportunity and to make the opportunity every single day to just, even if you work your fingers to the bone to make an impact and it impacted one person, you were successful in that day at doing that,
No question. Well, you kind of touched on it, but I want to know more about kind of your future aspirations with music, also professional goals, and like where you're headed right now.
Sure, absolutely. As far as music goes, just touching on that, like there's just a joy inside of me that's natural that comes when creating it. So, whether or not I'm able to pay my bills with it or not, like I'm always going to be an artist. And that's what's great about being an artist, whether you make music or whether you, film a movie or literally paint a sculpture. Like it's always going to be a form of expression, and it's always going to be subjective. So there are a ton of people that could think it's profound, and there are a ton of people that it doesn't speak to. So at the end of the day, it's just always going to be a part of my life, and I'm going to focus on, who it does speak to. But if an opportunity comes around one day to where I'm able to pay the bills with it, of course I'd do that. And then as far as, just more of a straight career path for me, I hope that my collaboration and my involvement with you and with AIM can continue to be strong, because ever since, I don't know if many people have said this to you, but you just coming with that idea to literally create a platform to help people it was just profound to me, and it was incredible to see you, somebody that I'm very close with and watched grown as a young man over the past 2.5 years, really grow organically. So to just be on your side with that, and by your side to just like help you continue to grow this platform is definitely in my future aspirations for sure. So a lot of things that I want to do, and I know you can relate, there's no stability in it or there's no straight path, but I'd rather, like you and I were talking about earlier today, I'd rather be dirt poor and impact a lot of people and love what I'm doing than just have some base salary for a job and a life that I hate. You know what I mean?
No doubt. And I think, one of the most important things, if that truly is your goal, and that's definitely mine as well, and the rest of our team at AIM, is you got to surround yourself with those kind of people.
Yeah.
And I can speak for myself and our team at AIM. Like, everyone on our team has that heart posture. Absolutely. And everyone has that motivation and desire to help people first. And that's why I truly believe, and our team believes, that this is going to be something huge, and we're going to be able to affect a lot of people.
It's a strong team, man. It's a team you couldn't pay for. That's for sure.
No question. It's a team. That's a good way to put it. I'll leave it at that. Well, Jonah, listen, I'm proud of you, man. I'm excited for you, and I'm just encouraged by your positivity and your walk, man. And you need to just keep going, keep striving. AIM's got your back 100%.
Hey, my brother, I appreciate you, my man. I've been happy to walk with you these past couple of years in life, and it's been a fun road to go on. Not a straight road, but it's been a fun road for sure. No doubt.
We're just getting started, man. With ambition in mind, we can do anything.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for being on today.